Record. Good morning, all, and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom, July 31st, 2014. And we are so excited to basically bring a business open mic today. And so what that'll look like is we have our wonderful Royal Crown Diamond, Terry Seacrest, with us today, who's also my amazing mother. So she gets amazing mother points every single day of the week. I try to remind her how wonderful she is.
You see all these crazy things I'm doing in the background. I'm like,
oh my. Well, so what would be so fun is everyone on Zoom, go ahead and just write down some business questions you have, because we would love you to ask them during today's Zoom, and then Terry can share some tips and some tools that may be helpful. If you're over on Facebook, go ahead and write those in the chat. And then I will be checking on the chat and hopefully find your comment and we can answer your questions. Ready, set,
okay, Elizabeth,
go. Terry, you can take it off.
Well, Elizabeth, I have the funniest thing to share with you. I was just breathing peppermint and I just got some in my eye. So I'm going to run and get a Kleenex and be right back.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Wow. Alrighty, so I think we have the first question from Debbie already. So, how do you get the word out about wellness assessment? Oh boy. I feel like I need to wait for Terry to come back and answer because this isn't my show today, but I love that question because Mother Debbie asked the question, how do you get the word out about the wellness assessments? So now that she is very equipped to facilitate those wellness assessments, how does she get the word out about it and invite a person to do an assessment with her?
Well, gosh, it all goes back to relationship. It's not like a formula. It's you meet someone, you establish a relationship with them. When there is a trust level with that person, then you invite them. I love the word permission marketing. It's always, would you be open to hearing about some exciting things that might support your good health for years to come? Would you consider sitting down with me for 30 minutes and talking over some ideas about your health? Coming up with these beautiful permission questions. And that way, we are allowing them to think about it. We're allowing them to acknowledge that we have a trust level with them. And that is how I do it. I don't, send it out in mass or anything like that at all. Does that make sense? Okay, super. Awesome.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Okay, another thought, if someone were to ask on the fact of the wellness assessment, like specifics on what they can get out of it, what would you share with them?
Specifics on what they can get out of it? You mean
Yes.
like, can you elaborate what you mean by that?
Like, okay, when you get your appointment and stuff, we're gonna be covering your general body wellness or specific things. So, because people don't know what it is. So I want to be able to give them some bullet points on we're gonna go over and cover this and this and this. So is there
Oh,
anything
got it.
specific?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's very good. What I let them know is this wellness assessment is a way for you to jog your memory and help you to actually identify your health goals, maybe some of your health concerns. And for example, someone might come to me and say, Terry, I've been struggling with headaches. What do I do? I don't give them the answer. I invite them to do a wellness assessment, because it always happens that when they do the assessment, they think of 2 or 3 things, and those 2 or 3 things might well be related to why they're having their headaches. Does that make sense? So I let them know that over a lifetime, we have these things that kind of build up over a lifetime. So let's pause. Let's hit the pause button And let's do this wellness assessment that might help you, because, people want to know what's in it for me. This might help you to identify some areas that you're working on. Now, another thing that often happens, they will check 7 or 8 of the different body systems. And that is an opportunity for you, Deborah, to say, this is great. Let's talk about maybe 1 or 2 body systems that we can start with. Letting people know we can't all of a sudden attack all 7 or 8 at one time. Let's start with 1 or 2. What are the most, like, is digestion the most important thing, or is sleep the most important thing? And that really helps them. And also, when I'm doing my assessment and I have my clipboard, I flip it over and take all the notes right on the back of that assessment. So that, let's say we come up with a 90-day plan for that person. As I make my care calls, I'm checking in with them on that 1 or 2 body systems that we're working on. I'm checking and I write the date down. We talked on the phone on such and such a date. They're sleeping better. I help to track their progress so that as they're feeling better in those 1 or 2 systems, now we could move into a 3rd body system, even a 4th body system. So I really think it's important to take those really good notes and, again, call them once a week, you guys. Calling them once a week for that first period of time, at least the first 30 days, is an absolute, it is a recipe for success in their health, in your relationship. They will fall in love with Young Living in that first 30 days. I cannot stress that enough. You cannot just leave them, after you've sold them their first order. You make those care calls. It's a discipline. It's not easy. People try to say, oh, this business is so easy. No, it's not easy. It's a discipline, and it's worth it. It's so worth it when you see the results that your clients get by making those care calls.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Thank you. That was perfect.
Now, if I could mention something as far as keeping track of when you're going to follow up with them, we do Winning the Week, several of us do. And so, of course, I have my calendar, and right now I'm more likely to put things in the calendar on the day that I need to follow up with someone as a to-do. However, the Get Oiling system, if you use that one, it actually has a calendar on there, and you can set reminders to follow up with folks that way. And so that's another great resource that we have access to.
Especially for the fact that the pricing of it is so economical for people to get started, and as their business grows, they can go to higher levels. I think that's brilliant on how they did
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, and that Get Oiling gives you your own website, an email system, a blog. So those are the 3 main things I love. And of course, you can put your contacts into it. And so then it's you can go in and write notes on those contacts and put tabs on them. And so if you're saying, I really just want to email people about animals today, I have a great animal email that I'm writing. Well, then you could actually go ahead and, search for the tag of folks that you've tagged as animal lovers, and then go ahead and send them an email to that. So it's pretty intuitive once you get using it.
Well, thank you for sharing that part. That was the next follow-up question I had, so you did right on.
Oh, good. Glad to help. Yeah, it's very intuitive system.
If there's no questions at this time, there's something I could share, Elizabeth. I don't know if there's another question at this time or not.
I'm not seeing any on Zoom. Let me go over and check Facebook.
Okay.
So, no, I think we're good. So go ahead and share your thought.
Okay. Well, Elizabeth, I've had so many people that have contacted me, after COVID, or after, let's just say, a long period of maybe family issues, which has happened to me, family issues that have prevented them from working their business. And they're like, Terry, how do I start over? Where do I start? What do I do? And it's such a valid question because we all have life circumstances that prevent us from working our business. We all do. So how do I hit the restart button? So I'd really, really like to address that. Number one, I really would like to encourage everyone watching, or even if you're watching the replay, go back and think about what it was like when you first started your Young Living business. You first started sharing. What did you do to sign up the first 10 people that you signed up in Young Living? How did you do it? Was it one-on-one, having lunch with somebody? Was it classes? Whatever that was, think about that. Are you doing that today, or have you veered into some other direction? If you're not doing that today, and if you're not doing consistent daily activities, that's what I like to call if you think of a river and you got a big log in the river, that's the first log in the river right there. Okay, so you really want to address that. The second thing, however, is also to be aware that in this day and time right now in 2024, we have to be willing to pivot. Why? Because everything has changed. The economy has changed. The way people think has changed. People don't necessarily want to go to meetings anymore. If you probably noticed that, in the old days, we all did meetings, we all did classes. It's because, people have become like cocoons in their house, they don't necessarily want to do it. And so I don't have meetings anymore. I have cooking parties. I have things that people are excited about doing because they want to get together and feel, some love and connection. And we're having so much fun doing our cooking parties. So be willing to pivot and reinvent yourself if you have to. I've reinvented myself a few times during my Young Living business. Also, go back to the basics of why you felt drawn to start a Young Living business. This is so critical. Why did you feel drawn to start a Young Living business? This is the key, you guys. So I'll just take a moment because there may be somebody watching this today or watching the replay that I have not had the privilege of visiting one-on-one with. So I want to share this very quickly. When I started my Young Living business, it was kind of kicking and screaming because people were asking me how to buy lavender oil because I had a very dramatic story with lavender oil. And I would say, I don't sell lavender. You need to go to the health food store and buy it. Well, they would go to the health food store and buy it and come back and tell me it didn't work like I was telling them my Young Living lavender was working. So then I thought, oh my goodness, maybe there's a difference in quality of lavender. So all of this just happened little by little, my understanding of the quality of essential oils. So when I finally truly in my heart felt that this is what my calling was, on day one, you guys, I just asked God to be my CEO. I just talked to him like that. I'm like, Papa, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I've never been involved in marketing. I don't know anything about marketing. Papa, will you just be my CEO? And will you be my daily business partner? And if you will, I promise I will listen to your promptings of what you're telling me. So the reason I'm bringing that up today is that when I had doubts about myself, about my ability, I didn't focus on that. I focused on the fact that I believed with all my heart that the Lord had shown me that every single person in America needed a bottle of lavender oil, and every pet in America needed a bottle of lavender oil. That was my focus. So the fear of sharing or the fear of selling went away because I knew in my heart. And the other thing that happened is that, when I asked him to be my CEO and to, that I would listen, then he brought the business to me. It wasn't striving, it wasn't struggling. It was just fun and creative and listening for these little promptings and taking time to listen to what he was saying. And I would often get marketing ideas in the middle of the night. While I was sound asleep, I would be awakened with an idea. So I just want to say that sometimes we either think maybe God doesn't want us to be successful, or it's more noble to be poor, or, you know, some of these ideas that we get that I think are absolutely false. I think that the Lord delights in our success. He absolutely desires us to live an abundant life. It's just that, you know, the focus, as Gary Young taught us, the focus should never be on money. Money is like a byproduct of sharing from our heart what we know is going to help someone else's life. And so, but the success of it has to do with our character and being intentional about working our business. That has to be intentional, because you know, even the Bible says, you know, if a man doesn't work, he shouldn't eat, you know. So being a good worker, being a diligent worker, that part is a decision we have to make. But he will open those doors for you when you ask. And then it's up to you to follow through and step in those doors that he has opened for you. Does that make sense, everybody?
Amen. Yes.
So that, I just wanted to share that. And another thing I truly believe, you guys, and that is, we all, myself included, we all have areas of insecurity, areas of, you know, self-doubt, areas where we don't feel we're good enough, or maybe we don't feel we're deserving enough, or maybe some family member said, oh, brother, you know, nobody should be wealthy. You know, all wealthy people are selfish. You know, I'm sure you've heard that before. So what I have found is so critical, again, is not listening to the status quo. In fact, as my sister knows, my motto is that there are times in life where we need to leave the crowd behind. Okay, we just have to leave the crowd behind, because it's so weird. If I'm having trouble, like I'm really in trouble, or I'm really having a tough day, there's so many people that rally around me. It's amazing. But if I'm sharing, like, oh, you guys, let me share the success with you that happened, and I'm just so excited, you know, it's amazing how not that many people are excited. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. But it tells me that I need to be very conscious of who I'm spending the most time with. Am I spending time with people that are celebrating me? People that actually are happy when I'm successful? Or am I around people that are jealous of me? You know what I'm saying? Be careful. Who are the 5 people that you spend the most time with all week long? Now, if you're married, your spouse is exempt. Your spouse gets an exemption. But really,
and if it's your boyfriend, you should probably rethink your decision in dating.
There you go. There you go. Exactly.
Pretty close if I know, listen to this.
Yeah,
Thankfully, I'm exempt from that
married to
category, but I've been there in the past, and I thought, this guy is not on board with what I'm doing. I don't think we're right for each other, because they just didn't have that same excitement to see me succeed. And I'm very thankful I have one that does like to see me succeed now. So
Exactly, honey. I love that. I love that. And you know, there's one thing you can never overcome, and that's somebody that's jealous of you. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, if somebody has just decided they're going to be jealous of you, that's just the way it is, and you will not change that. So that is why, you know, knowing what God says about you. So just, you know, a couple of favorite things I love to, I've had it on my refrigerator. I mean, I love it. You know, it's Jeremiah 29:11. It says, for I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. So if God wants to give me a hope in a future, I sure want it, don't you? I
Yeah,
sure want a hope in the
absolutely.
future, you know?
Yeah.
And then I love like 3 John 1 and 2, it says, beloved, I wish above all things, that thou mayest prosper and be in health. Wow, those are the two things we offer at Young Living, that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. So many Bible scholars believe that our soul is our mind, our will, and our emotions. So is our mind lined up with success? Do we have a strong emotional base? Do we have a strong, confident will, mind, will, and emotions? So I'm going to repeat that because it's so exciting. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. So there, here's one more thing for all of us here today. I always continue to read books about my mindset, because we'll never fully arrive. I mean, no matter what we're earning with Young Living, there's no ceiling on what we can earn other than the ceiling that we put on ourselves, right? So I'm continually reading books to improve my mindset and improve my emotional being, so that I am in a position to receive the abundance that can come with Young Living.
Mm-hmm. So good. So good. So
Jan, I want to see if Jan's got any thoughts or questions or just anything on your mind, sis.
Okay, so, oh my gosh. I can so relate to everything you're saying because it's everything I'm not doing. Everything I need to do that I understand, know in my head, but need to implement. And so when you said hitting the restart button, I've been trying to figure that out for a year. And I thought maybe at convention I would figure it out, but what convention did for me was just reaffirm for me that I'm with the right company, that I absolutely positively in my heart of hearts know that Young Living has an unbelievable gift for people if they learn about it and use it. So and I've known that, but just reconfirm that for me. So I'm sitting here, Terry, with stuff like, hey, when I moved to Florida, I put together this cheesy little hand printed business card. So I'd have something, and now I actually need a real business card. So I started looking. So here's a question. Where do you guys get a decent business card? I mean, I want a nice one with my picture on it. Okay.
Oh, yes. I wish Bev was on today.
This is where I'm stuck.
Elizabeth, do you know where Bev orders my business cards from?
there's a lot of different companies out there that you can order business cards from. For instance, like even Office Max do it. So Heather Bruce says you use Vistaprint. I've actually used Vistaprint for most of my business cards in the past. So
Okay.
that is one I like, and they're fairly quick. You can choose the cardstock you want, the glossy, the matte, the normal oblong, square, etc., all the different sizes. As far as formatting a business card, personally, I like to format my business cards on Canva because they have some neat designs that you could kind of plug your own information into. Of course, on Vistaprint's site, you can actually use their templates and create a business card on Vistaprint as well. But
Let me pop in too,
sometimes,
Elizabeth. And
Mhm.
let me mention, sweetie, I think that the glossy is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah,
I think it creates a feeling of, wow, this woman is really seriously in business.
hmm
And Jan, as you know, realtors put their photo on because people don't throw away their business cards. So love having the photo, and love having your phone number and your email address big enough to read without glasses.
Yes.
So many people make the mistake of putting too many words on a business card,
hmm
and people can't even read it. then when I turn it over, and I can read you guys what this says, but again, notice how big the print is.
Yeah, yeah.
Notice that this is very, very easy to read. So
Yeah.
Jan, for you, you're going to put the things on the back of your card that are very unique about you. And there is so many things that are unique about you. And I'm happy to help you with that if
Okay.
you need it.
Yeah.
So
That's my big thing. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for that, Terry. I'm gonna do that. My next
and you
thing.
know what else, Jan, you know what else I'm a fan of? Notice the rounded corners.
Yeah, I love the rounded corners. Yeah.
Yeah, love the rounded corners. Yeah. So
So that's
I'm excited about that. And let's talk
gotta get it done.
whenever you have a second and get it going.
The next thing on my list is website. I mean, as soon as Marketing Sense closed up, and then we were moving and all that other stuff, I tried oily something or other for a little while, and I
Get oiling. Yeah.
oiling. It didn't really do anything with that, so I just stopped that. So now if you use what I have had in the past as my domain name, it'll just say 404 error because it reverted to Marketing Sense, and I don't have it reverted to anything right now. So I can't get a business card until I have a website to put on the business card, or at least know what I'm going to do. So what are your suggestions? I mean, I know I've heard you say oily, get
Well,
oily.
Jan, yeah, I think there's a much deeper question here. And that question is simply why? Why haven't you moved forward on any of these things? Why? You've got to ask yourself, Jan.
I know. I have to ask myself that.
So I can come up with a super simple answer for where to route your website address to.
Okay.
Two thoughts. I still do like get oiling, but if you don't want to do that right now, the simplest thing is the MyYL website. MyYL is $10 a month, and you can put your own bundles in there. You can write some things. You can make suggestions on what people should order. So that's actually an easy way to just have a web presence that looks like it's you. You can have your photo and a little testimony on there. But it's not anything like you're not going to have an email system. You're not going to have blogs. You're not going to have your contact manager. But at least it's somewhere to send people so they can order. And if you love doing things in person and all you need is somewhere that they can go to order, that's a really good option.
Elizabeth, that's really good. Thank you for, I have one of those. I have. Now, how do I get my domain name so that it forwards to that address?
So when you log into, is your domain name like with GoDaddy or?
It's with
register.com. Okay. So go into register.com and it's going to say forward this URL. So it's going to give you an option of where to forward it to. So you basically want to grab the link of your Young Living MyYL link.
Okay.
And tell register.com forward my specific URL to this Young Living page.
Okay.
And just paste it in there.
Got it. Okay, good. Now I know I can do that.
Yeah. Good.
And Jan, I love this suggestion because I do know, Jan, that technology has frustrated you in the past.
Yeah, it's
true. And
true.
so I think that the YL would be way simpler for you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Now, Heather is saying something really interesting.
And
She uses Get Oiling, and also she likes something called Life Steps Pro that has a small built-in website. So I've never heard of that before, Heather.
I have a simple plan that I could share with Jan, while you're waiting for your cards.
Okay.
I chose to start when I talk to people about oils everywhere I go and they want my contact information. I literally put them in my contacts and do a selfie with them. So we have a picture of both of us. And then I send them my direct number right away with the picture of both of us. So I have their number right away and I follow up with them right within that 24-hour period. And now we are having conversations.
Awesome. Just
that
with your
is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah.
And Debbie, I'll say I do the same thing because I don't have social media. People that have Facebook or Instagram, they're always like,
Right.
oh, hey, can I message you on Facebook? Can I follow you on Instagram? And I just tell them, actually, I don't have social media, but I'd love to get your phone number. Let's share contacts with each other.
Yep.
So what I did is in the contacts of my phone, like when you go into contacts and you're looking for people, right? I just added myself as a contact in my phone. And I put a picture on there of myself. So my picture, my cell phone number, my business line, my email address, my Young Living website, my podcast. And so all the things that I want people to have access to of me, where they can find me online if they want to, or don't put any of that stuff, just phone number and email, but create a contact of yourself on your phone.
Yep.
And then what I'll do is if somebody says, oh yeah, I'd love to share contact, I go, okay. And so I just look up myself on my phone, right? And I'm going to share my contact with you. So you just go share contact, text it to them.
That's
So
brilliant.
then, done, text message. Okay, so what's your phone number? I'm going to text you my contact card. So right then and there, you get their phone number.
And you,
And then what I do down in the body of the text is I go, hello, Bruce Strickland. So great to meet you. This is Elizabeth Rose. And usually I'll say, so great to meet you at Starbucks on January
the
21st.
location of, yes, I've done
Yes.
that too. Yep.
Because, oh my goodness, I'll find messages and go, where did I meet this person? What did we talk about? Who in the world are they? Because you go back and you find a text 3 months later. So I always try to add some details in that text. Great to meet you at convention at the Ancient Secrets table session because I met two gals there. And so we swapped contact info. So now, yeah.
And
Honey,
another,
that is absolutely brilliant. Will you
and
help me
another,
set my phone up like that?
Sure.
and then another great thing is in the company one, I put Young Living Future team member. So it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
positive energy of
Hmm.
who they are. So when I'm looking up people that I've regularly talked to, I type in and they all pop up, or all the new follow-ups that I have.
Nice.
That
That's
is
awesome
brilliant.
because
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So the next step is once you texted them, they're still not in your contacts. So then usually after the conversation, so I'm not taking time right then and there, since I've already got their name in the text that I sent them, I know how it's spelled, I know their first and last name, right? Maybe I know where they live or something else. And so I never put anybody in my phone contacts unless it's Elizabeth Rose, Kerrville, Texas, Elizabeth Rose, YL, whatever it is, or CKC is the acronym for the church I go to. So everybody in my contacts has a dash something. And I've kind of been able to streamline my dashes so that it's city, state, or just state, or company they work for, or like church we both attend, or something like that, so that I can always go back and find them in my contacts, even if I don't remember their name. I'll type in photographer, and all the people I've met that are a photographer pop up. I'll even do Kerrville, Texas photographer, because then I know that's where they live and they're a photographer versus Dallas photographer, kind of a thing.
Well, I love that.
my
And just
goodness.
one little addition that I love doing, you guys, when I meet somebody, is after exchanging contact information, I actually create a little video. And I've talked about this before, and I'll just say, hey, Susan, it's Terry Seacrest here. We met earlier today, and I'm so delighted to meet you. Just wanted to send you this video saying, I hope we can talk soon. I'll reach out to you in a couple of days. Just wanted to say how great it was to meet you. That way, again, they've got a video of you. They remember how you look, and they're not going to forget you after that. So
That's fantastic. I never thought of that.
yeah, a little video,
Yeah.
so good.
That is wonderful.
Thank you. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Honestly, even for someone who does utilize social media and your tendency is to follow someone on there rather than getting their contact info, I would encourage you to start getting people's contact, even if it's just their email. I know that social media, like back when I was on it 4 years ago, that was the easiest way to connect with somebody. It felt less intrusive than just getting their phone number, right? Because some people don't want to give out their number, but they'll let you follow them because then they can click unfollow or delete or block or whatever later if they don't want to be connected with you, right?
Oh,
And
yeah,
But here's what I'll say. You guys know some of my stories, so I'll keep it super short. My Facebook and Insta got deleted all in the span of like a click of a button. And it is really challenging for anybody when that happens, whatever the reason it is that it happens. I was maxed out at 5,000 Facebook friends. I had thousands of Instagram followers, commenting, posting, live videos, music sessions, teaching classes online. My Facebook group that I was sharing education with my Young Living team on, all of that was lost at the click of a button. Maybe it could be a tech error. Maybe they just don't like the messaging you're putting out there. You know, we are in a very interesting world where depending on ideologies and etc., you know, social media platforms will delete you. So I don't want anybody to end up in the situation I was in where I lost about 3,000 contacts that I did not have information for. And I haven't even tried to pick up the pieces of that. I figured if they really want to know me, they'll search for me on Google and find my website. You know, that's happened a few times, but not much. So do what you can to really try to get people's contact information.
right. Now, for those
that's so
people
smart.
who I talk to who don't want to give out their personal cell phone number, I tell them, well, you can get a Google Voice number that I've used for a long time and handed that out as my, and I keep up with it all the time and it does everything in my phone. So that's another way of, if you are very hesitant about that, even though, you know, main people, if you don't care, that's okay. But some people they do bother with. So, and then that way you can advertise more with the Google Voice and not feel like you're giving it to the whole world, your number.
There you go. Yeah, very good.
Here's another thing, I think, Jan, with you kind of hitting that restart button, another idea that I have is a number of years ago, a very good friend of mine who's a minister one day said, Terry, can you tell me how you see yourself as a businesswoman? And I, without thinking, I said, oh yeah, absolutely. I just shoot from the hip. And she had the funniest look on her face. She goes, what? She goes, well, that's not how I see you. She goes, I see you as a highly successful businesswoman in the health and wellness industry. She said, would you do me a favor? And the next time someone asks you what you do, you say, oh, well, I'm blessed to be a highly successful woman in the health and wellness industry. Now, Jan, I'm saying that to you because that is who you are. You are a blessed woman in the health and wellness industry. So as you are reinventing yourself, Jan, when you meet people, they need to, they don't even, the other day, I'll just give you, I'll tell you what happened. Elizabeth, you just introduced me to two women in our church that are highly successful in internet, what would you call it, honey? Internet marketing.
Social media marketing.
Okay, social media marketing. Okay, because we're looking for someone local to help us with our social media marketing. Now, how many times have I talked to those ladies in church? Hundreds. I never, ever knew what they did because they never, ever shared it with me. Are we guilty of that? Are we guilty of knowing people? Yeah, we are so guilty of knowing people and never sharing with them what we do. So you guys, we need to let people know what we do because remember, everybody needs what we have in Young Living, whether they need the financial abundance or whether they need the products to stay healthy. Everybody needs what we have. So we need to make it known, this is who I am, and this is what I can offer you. Would you like to hear about it?
Yes. Okay, Terry, I have a question for you. Maybe you can help me with this. in our community here now, we were probably the 20th house built in this community, maybe a little bit later. There's over 150 now. Anyway, we have a little chat group. And the stuff that happens in the chat group is, oh, we're going to have a 4th of July party. It's this date, bring this kind of stuff, blah, blah. Every now and then someone will say, hey, Kenny down at the liquor store is having the snow cone guy this weekend. Come and get your snow cones, that kind of stuff. There's a bee guy in our neighborhood. He's a beekeeper. He just introduced himself and said, hey, we moved into the neighborhood. I'm Sam the bee man. This is where you can find my honey. Hope to get to know my neighbors. So I need help writing something about me and what I do and what Christina and I do, so I can post it and not have it look like, and have it look good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Jan, here's what's coming to me.
Okay.
Hey guys, my daughter Christina and I are having a very fun evening for women called Oil and Wine. Oil and Wine.
Okay.
Come over and enjoy a glass of wine and hear about our phenomenal essential oils, because we're in the oil business. Everybody knows essential oils now. Everybody is intrigued by essential oils, but a lot of people have no clue really how to use them or how to get them or whatever. I would host an oil and wine party at your home.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Thank you.
And I would do it for women because, again, women like to get together with women.
Yes.
And, later on you can have other things, but I would start with an oil and wine party for women.
Right. Okay, I'm going to start working on my thoughts on that.
Okay.
Hey, good. How fun. Okay, let me look in the chat here. So we do have a few more questions. Thank you, Heather, for sharing the link to the Life Steps app. I see that on here and saved it to go check it out. So we've kind of covered this. A question I had is, what would you say to a person who had the mindset of, my young living business is just a hobby I do periodically when I feel like it, or when it's easy to talk to somebody, but I don't really go out of my way to talk about it and sign people up? Or how do you transition them from that to young living as a business I'm very passionate about, and maybe this is my full-time business, or this is the thing that I'm focusing on and putting time and effort and energy into? How do you help a person transition from those two mindsets?
Well, that's a great point. I think most people do not realize the power of slowly building a residual income with Young Living that becomes a retirement income. I think very few people understand the actual business market model of network marketing and how powerful it is. Because you're absolutely right, Elizabeth. The average person signs up 3 or 4 people, kind of like a soccer mom, the average person, and then they just quit there. Because the truth of it is they have never investigated this as a serious business model. Now, back in the day, if we look at, 25 years ago, when you could get a college education, a good degree, and you could come out of college and get a job right away, that was one scenario. That scenario does not hold true anymore. You cannot be guaranteed a job just because you got a college education. The other thing is, when you Google words, like when you do Google searches on words, it's the craziest thing. The 2 words that are Googled more than anything else are health and business success. Those are the 2 most Googled words in the world, because everybody's looking for health and everybody's looking for a business. So this is where let me tell you what I think happens. I think people in our lives, they're like, oh, well, that didn't work for Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe, he tried a network marketing and that didn't work for him. I don't think it's a viable business. that's just so narrow thinking. It's such a narrow-minded way to look at it. The other thing, the other real problem in America, Elizabeth, is that people in America like instant gratification. Okay, so like if I'm going to do something, I want to instantly have this financial success. Let me tell you what the world across the ocean believes. So Young Living has sent me all over the world to teach. We're talking Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Australia, Japan. I've been very blessed to teach in all of those countries. When I was in Singapore, one of our distributors said, "Hey, Terry, I'd like to invite you to go to lunch at this really awesome restaurant in Singapore. It's a health food restaurant." I said, "Oh, I'd love it," because I love eating healthy, you know. So we get to this restaurant. I had just had a teaching the night before, young living teaching. We get to the restaurant and I'm thinking, I recognize all these people in this restaurant. They're all Young Living people. So I said to this gal, I said, "Am I seeing things or are these all Young Living people?" She goes, "Oh, they're all Young Living people." I said, "What are they doing?" She said, "Oh, Terry, they show up at 8 in the morning and they'll order a coffee, and then a little bit later, like 10, they'll order some breakfast. And then around 1 o'clock, they'll order lunch." She said, "They meet with clients every hour all day long, or prospects." She said, "They meet people during the week, they set up appointments, and they sit in this cafe and they talk to clients from 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon." And I was thinking, oh my goodness, I just wish Americans could see how hard, it's not that Americans are lazy, I'm not saying that, but if they could see the vision of how these people understand the business model of network marketing and how they are willing to put in blood, sweat, and tears to sit there and work their business. And Elizabeth, I know you would agree with me that when you and I were at convention, this was an international convention this year. All the biggest groups were from those countries. Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia. Those are the fastest growing countries in the world for Young Living. And it is because they love the business model of network marketing. They don't care what other people say about it. They are building for their future. So we have to get rid of this mindset of, I want everything to happen today. If it doesn't happen today, you know, I'm out of here. I'm going to go to my next company. No, there is no such thing as a next company, because there is nothing that compares to the Young Living products. Sorry, guys. There's nothing. We have no competition when it comes to products. The only competition we have is our mindset right here. That's our competition right here.
And can I just piggyback onto that? Because yesterday I got to sit down with a beautiful friend at a local coffee shop here in Kerrville. She and her husband, when they got married, I wanted to give them a wedding gift. And so I texted and I asked both of them, would you guys be interested in me gifting you a starter kit from Young Living? I know it's not something on your gift registry, but I know you're also health minded. Would this be of interest? And she said, "Oh my goodness, that'd be so wonderful." So I got them the Make a Shift kit with the oils and diffuser. And so she loves it. But it's so funny because throughout the last year, inevitably, we'd meet up at church and she'd go, "Oh yeah, we just got over being sick. Oh yeah, my husband got bit by an ant the other day." And I thought, "Oh no, I need to teach you how to use the oils I gave you." Right? I just kind of gave it to them. They had their honeymoon. They got pregnant soon after that. And so she has a newborn. She has like a 2-3 month old newborn right now. And so we finally got together because she said, "I would love to start knowing how to use oils with my baby and what I can use for myself and for my husband." So we had a great time of education, and she learned how to use the oils that she has from that kit. She also bought some new ones, but it was so much fun to be in person. And honestly, I will feel like extremely lonely at the end of the day if all I do is text, email, and call people. Phone
Yeah.
calls to me can be uplifting, and I'm a very social person. However, there's still something about that in person. And so I don't know. I just wanted to share that as a personal testimony because I truly believe that the people now, even after COVID, uh, they're they're willing to meet up because they're just so hungry for personal interaction. And you
Mhm.
never know how much deeper you could go with a person in person because you're experiencing each other's body language and things like that, than the kind of connection that you could have just over the phone. So if you have local team members or you want to build locally, I truly think one-on-ones are one of the best ways to do it. And then classes, because then those people see other people and they get inspired through the interaction of classes. So we did 3 classes before the summer and it was so fun because a lot of the same people came to each one. They got to know each other. They started sharing whale testimonies. One gal had chickens, and so right then and there we pulled open the desk reference book and figured out what she could use for her chickens, you know? And so just that fact of making it a point to get together with people and not being afraid of what they will think of you because of your boldness to invite them to get together. You never know. You may make a new friend with somebody you don't know, or if you're already friends with somebody and they need to understand what you do and they need to learn from you, be open to sharing. Like
Yeah.
my friend yesterday knows I have a ton of a wealth of knowledge of health, right? But I asked her, "Hey, Andrea, do you have any specific questions you'd like to ask me? Or would you like me to just go into teacher mode and teach you some basics on what to do?" She said, "Well, actually, both. I have a few questions." "Okay, what are your questions?" Answered them. She goes, "Okay, teach me anything." That is the best statement anybody could ever tell me. Teach me
I love
anything.
that.
And my
I
teacher
love
mode just
that.
goes whoosh, you know? And that's the moment. You don't fire hose them, but you realize she's new. Okay, what are the specific things I could teach her today that then we build on next time? And we had so much fun sitting there in a coffee shop.
That's so great, honey. That is so great. I love that. Great
Yeah.
testimony.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Debbie
man.
had a question that she asked a while up, and I want to go back to it because she said it's all about following up with high energy. If you don't have high energy, like maybe you're feeling sluggish that day or something, what do you do when you have an appointment but you don't feel energetic that day? What would you say to that?
Well, it depends on what kind of appointment you're talking about. So if it's in person, you're pretty much going to have to pull it together, if you've got that kind of a situation. But I have had times where I have postponed phone appointments when or let's put it this way, postponed my care calls and said, you know what, I don't feel like my energy's where it should be right now, so I'm going to do my care calls either tomorrow or, you can't just cancel them, but you can postpone your care calls. So yeah, I mean, my gosh, if that, think of what oil you're drawn to. Are you drawn to motivation? Are you drawn to breathe in the future? Are you drawn to breathe present time to get you right in that moment? I think you got to really, stand in front of your oils and say, what am I drawn to? And man, just marinate yourself in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a great thing that I would suggest is go to our oils as a great first go-to because anything that has a higher frequency than our body is going to do wonderful things for our overall being. And drinking Ningxia Red and water is a great pick-me-up to help your body's energy.
And a
Nitro,
drop of
Ningxia
peppermint.
Nitro.
When I'm feeling a little bit, kind of tired, Elizabeth, I'll put a drop of peppermint in my Ningxia Red.
There you go.
That really, really helps to energize me.
Yeah. So I know that we are getting close to the end, but Heather Bruce had a great question, so I'd love us to answer it. If any folks need to get off, feel free to, but this is one I think should be answered. She said, any tips on how to encourage brand partners to work their business as a business? I don't have anyone who's really working it as a business. So it sounds like she has brand partners, but they're not actively working as a business. How do you inspire them?
Well, Heather, I would ask you right away, do your people, are they part of the Royal Dream Team? This could be a helpful situation if they were, because Beverly does a book club right after Wednesday Wisdom. We're not doing it today, but every other Wednesday. And the book club normally is something business related.
We rotate one
so-
business, one health, one business, one
Yeah.
health.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
So
about to
getting
start a
them-
new book, so that would be awesome if anyone new would like to join us. I love those book clubs after Wednesday Wisdom.
Yeah, because a lot of times, if these are personal friends of yours, you got to get a third party in there that can help to influence them in a positive way. Sometimes they're like, oh, well, I've known her for years and, blah, 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 so get a third party involved. The other thing you could do yourself is look for one or two books that really teach the advantages of network marketing and what this can do for you and your family. And read those yourself with the yellow highlighter, because I love to read them 3 times. I highlight it and then read it 2 more times where you just read the yellow highlighted part, so that you are very secure in yourself about why this is a beautiful industry and why everybody wants to know what's in it for them. What is in it for them? And on the short term, it's not, you're not going to see the huge abundance in a very, very short term. So another thing too, you can't put every person in the same category. You as a leader, like Elizabeth and Jan and I, we're mining for gold. We're trying to figure out what is the gold in this person, but also what are the logs in the river? What are the roadblocks? So do they lack confidence? If they're a blue person, a blue personality, they love fun, everything that's fun, but they hate follow through. So you got to kind of analyze, what is this person that I'm working with, and how can I best help them? So if they're one of these people that just loves detailed information, then you're going to have to find a book that relates to them in all this detailed information about why network marketing is great. So I'm hope that this kind of helps you. It's all about, if you said to me, Terry, what's the number one skill that you find in people that are successful in Young Living? I will tell you, the number one skill are communication skills. Asking good questions. Asking people good questions. John Maxwell has a good book called Good Leaders Ask Great Questions. Because when you ask questions, then you're going to find out what their log is in the river. You're going to find out their insecurities. You're going to find out maybe they're afraid of what people will say, or maybe they're lazy, or maybe they don't even think they could ever make money in network marketing, whatever that is. So become really good at asking questions and become really good at being a good listener. And being a good listener is asking a follow-up question, not just one question. So you find out what's going on, then you ask another clarifying question. And sometimes I'll even ask a third question, and then I'll say, hey, Susan, would you be open for me to share some things that I think could be really, really exciting and valuable for you, whether it's the health part of Young Living or whether it's the business part. Generally, once you ask those 2 or 3 questions, then you find out, what it is. So, what I have found is that when I'm able to help somebody with their health in Young Living, they cannot be quiet. They cannot shut up. They have to talk about it, because because Young Living helped them so much in their health. So that's the first thing. And I think Jan would agree too, that, you help somebody with their health and they just become a billboard. it's that follow through is where everybody gets stuck because they haven't made if somebody has not made a core decision, I am choosing to create a successful Young Living business. If they have not made that core decision, then the first little thing that comes up, they're going to quit. So you have to know that every single business to go to the top, I don't care what it is. It's hard. It's not easy. But if you make a core decision why you're doing the business and you make a decision, I'm doing this and I'm going to be successful and I'm burning the bridge, because you burn the bridge and there's no turning back. Then you're going to say, okay, what do I need to learn? Ask yourself, Heather, what do I need to learn to be a good leader? And you could read any John Maxwell book in the world, I don't care what it is, and it's going to help you in your leadership, because he is the #1 leadership coach in the world. So ask yourself, do I need technical skills? Do I need people skills? Do I need to be more clear in my own vision for Young Living? Am I clear in my own vision for Young Living? What is it, Heather, that you desire in order to be that leader that can then inspire others to want to walk along with you and build a successful business?
If I can share something, what this brings me back to is the life and business plan. And so this is something I've gotten to walk Denise Heck through, and a few other local team members. It was really helpful. It was a 4-week plan. You know, once that person said, yes, I'm interested in the Young Living business, then we met for 1 to 2 hours a week for 3 weeks, because the 4th week is actually after week 3, they plan their grand opening party, and then they have their party, and then we talk about it, kind of a thing. And so if that is of interest, I probably need to do a little bit of a teaching on how to facilitate these 4 weeks. I already have the outline on it, so I'm happy to share that with you, Heather, because this may be something that would be helpful for you to take your brand partners through, so that you get to know what their goals are and their vision, and then they kind of have it down on paper as well. And there's a lot of clarity surrounding that.
Elizabeth, would you be open to doing a Wednesday Wisdom where you take everybody through the 4 weeks?
That would be awesome. I am totally down for that. Totally
that
down for that. So let me think into that and figure out the best time to do that. But I definitely think this will help our brand partners then get other brand partners started.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we can do that. Thanks for your question, Heather. And it's great to see your face on here. Pretty in pink. We both have the pink going on today. All righty. Well, I think we're ready to wrap it up here. So,
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being on. It's just an honor to be here. And Elizabeth, thanks for leading the charge, girl. You're amazing.
oh, you're welcome. Well, it's so fun to connect with our team on Wednesday Wisdom. So definitely help get the word out, because Wednesday Wisdom is open to customers and brand partners. Granted, I know a lot of people work during the day, but they can go on to the Royal Dream Team Facebook group and watch the replays. And also, if you go on to YouTube, okay, this is kind of new, but the Royal Dream Team is an actual YouTube channel. And so we have a YouTube channel up there where each week I'm going to start posting the Wednesday Wisdom video recordings up there. And so if you just kind of find that YouTube channel, then that's where you can always go back to find the replays after the fact. There we go. And then, of course, they're also up on the Royal Dream Team Facebook group. Just depends if somebody's on Facebook. So, all righty, we'll end it for today.
Would everybody be okay if we just close in prayer, just to ask the Lord to bless our business? Is that okay, guys? Everybody, thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
All right, I'm just gonna, yeah, Lord, I just thank you for this time. And for people that truly desire to be, to do this business in excellence. That's what we desire. We want to do our Young Living business in excellence, and we want to represent Young Living well. So we are asking you to help us and inviting you in to our daily activities, inviting you into our mindset that we would have these creative ideas. And so we thank you for this time. Thank you for this platform of Zoom. And we are just excited about just little baby steps that we can take this week to sow into our Young Living business. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Love you guys. Love you, Elizabeth.
Okay, love you too. Till next week. Actually, Mother and I will be not on Wednesday Wisdom next week. We're doing a sabbatical. We're doing a writing sabbatical. And so I think Beverly will be on next week. I'm not sure the topic, but I'm going to definitely look into teaching that weeks 1 through 4 of the Life and Business Plan here soon, because that will be a really awesome business training to share with y'all. All right. Bye-bye.